to encourage conversation about mental health and what's new at Fresh Hope. Tune in each week and interact with us. We promise to keep you good company, inspire you, and surprise you. So without further ado, we leave you with our hostess, Samantha Corral.
Good night, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you. Connecting through technology is wonderful. Tonight, I'm chatting here with Peggy Rice. Peggy is in Colorado. And how's the weather up in Colorado, Peggy?
It's gotten a little chilly. It's in the 50s, but the sun shines almost every day, so it's beautiful.
Oh, I imagine. So thank you for joining us tonight, Peggy. This is so exciting to have you with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you in person yet, but I'm sure we will meet in person one day.
I feel like I know you really well. So meeting in person will be a big benefit, just to give each other a big hug.
Yeah, you're right. I feel the same way. That's true. It is exciting. So everyone, just so that you know, Peggy Rice is officially the overseer of the entire Hope Coaching program in English. And she's been doing trainings, she's been doing practice sessions. She is gifted as a Hope Coach. And we are really grateful for her life and just the wisdom that the Lord gives her and how she prays, and just, it's really exciting getting to know Peggy. So I'm really excited to have her with us. And for everyone who's watching us live, I would like to tell you a couple of things. First of all, write to us in the comments. I'm going to try and be watching the Facebook comments so that we can answer your questions. You can also tell us where you're watching from, which state are you in, where are you tuning in? And also, we have a special gift for you, but we won't tell them yet, right, Peggy?
Right, we're going to save it a little bit. We'll keep them waiting.
Yeah, let's keep them waiting so that they keep watching the show, right? So, Peggy, tell our audience a little bit about Hope Coaching. What is a Hope Coach, Peggy?
A Hope Coach is someone who is a good listener and asks good questions and comes alongside somebody who is feeling stuck or hurt and just needs some help processing what they're thinking. So the Hope Coach is the person that they talk to.
Hey, I like that. So by what you're saying, I can tell, and this is the next question, is Hope Coaching just for people who have a mental health diagnosis, or is it for just anyone?
It can be anyone. You know, we all experience times in our lives where we get stuck. We have a thought process and we get to the end of what we are thinking about and we can't seem to see the next steps. We can't think further. And so that applies to anybody, not just people with a mental health challenge. So Hope Coaching is for anyone.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is really wonderful. I love it. I love the way you say it. Like we're all at that point at any moment in our lives when we need somebody to walk alongside of us and help us see a way through, right?
Right, exactly.
Especially with the pandemic and all, don't you feel like people are in deeper need of somebody listening to them and somebody just helping them process? Absolutely
right. The pandemic really isolated people, and a lot of people are really struggling in a mental health way, or just in general. They're tired of the pandemic. They're frustrated by the loneliness. So I think the global pandemic has definitely had an impact on people's need to have somebody to talk to.
You are so right, Peggy. And you know what? Also, we should perhaps clarify is, and I was wondering about this, what do you think? Is it is a hope coach very much like a counselor? Because I've had people come to me and tell me, okay, why should I study to become a hope coach? I'm already certified as a counselor, you know? So what are the difference you would say between a counselor and a hope coach?
Sure. Well, to start with, a counselor is going to have a longer period of education. They're going to have gone to school for at least 2 additional years beyond their bachelor's and then put in many, many hours of counseling experience before they can be a licensed counselor. A hope coach is a shorter term training, and a hope coach is really very specific for a particular person's problem or issue, where a counselor is going to take in the whole person and maybe cover multiple issues. A hope coach is really there to walk with the person through the one situation that they're stuck in.
Oh, I like that. It's like more condensed.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. We
it
go
is.
through training. It's not as if we're not trained.
uh,
There's certainly a process to become a hope coach, but so you're not talking to somebody who's uninformed, but it's much less intense than a counselor.
Okay, that sounds interesting. And would a hope coach then be somebody that gives advice? Do people need to have enough wisdom to be able to give advice, or what would a hope coach do mostly? What do you think?
Actually, a hope coach doesn't give advice. We try very, very hard not to. Our goal is to get the other person, we call that person a hope seeker, the person who is asking for hope coaching, we call that person a hope seeker. And we want to work with the seeker to help them come up with their own solutions. So we're going to ask questions. We might ask, what have you tried in the past? We might ask, what's the most frustrating part to you right now about what you're dealing with? We might ask, what do you see yourself doing 2 weeks from now? So we ask a lot of questions, but we don't give advice. We can speak from our own personal experience too, though.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's
I,
interesting.
yeah, I could certainly say to somebody who's struggling with sleeping, for example, I could say, well, for me, I found that I have to turn my computer off an hour before I go to bed. And I have to make sure that I don't check my Facebook or my email before I go to bed so that I keep that blue light down. That helps me with my sleeping. And that might be something an example that I give to somebody who's struggling with sleep.
Oh, I like that. So you're speaking from your own experience. You're asking a lot of questions to help the person uh, think through, process whatever they're feeling or whatever they're going through.
Right.
And another thing you mentioned, I believe before, it's you're truly listening. You're an exceptional listener, which is something that the world really needs, like people who
Absolutely.
really listen. So that is wonderful. Hope coaching is life transforming, I would say. And you have had the privilege of doing hope coaching with several hope seekers,
Yes.
right? And how have you seen it work for people?
It's been amazing. And I'm thinking of 2 examples in particular that resolved themselves pretty quickly just because they had somebody to talk to. So the person and I were speaking on Zoom, and I asked, I listened to what the problem was, and I listened well. I mean, I listened a lot. That's a real key for a hope coach, is to really, really listen and hear what the person is saying. And then I asked the kinds of questions like I gave you an example of. And then it's like the light bulb went on for her, and she said, oh, I see what I could do next. And that's really where we want to get the hope seeker. We want to get them to the point where they can say, I can see what to do next. And we feel like we've helped them through that place where they were stuck.
That is great, Peggy. I love it how you describe it, and the results are amazing. Many people, many times we Christians are very well intended. We have good intentions to help others, but we make some, I'm going to say mistakes, without wanting to. We make mistakes as we try to help others. And one of them is giving advice too quickly.
Right.
Right. When the person probably just needs to be heard and
Right.
and validated.
Mm-hmm.
And another mistake that I've seen, and I've done that mistake myself in my life before I knew about hope coaching, is something that is called sugarcoating the pain.
Yes.
Sugarcoating, like somebody has a wound, you don't just want to go throw sugar on it.
Right.
Right? You want to make sure that the wound heals and follows the entire process. And sometimes we're too quick to say, oh, just don't worry, everything's going to be all right, and there's victory, we're more than victors. And we even use the Bible. We need to use the Bible. Please don't misunderstand everybody. The Bible is the word and the comforter, and the author, I'm sure he inspired hope coaching, because it's as loving as the Lord in listening and helping process. But sometimes you don't let the person even process what they're going through, because you're sort of like shooting positivity.
Right.
You're shooting positivity to them. And so they're like, even end up feeling guilty about feeling bad. You know what I mean? It's can be.
That's absolutely right, Sam. That's absolutely right. That sugarcoating and pouring advice or pouring good, positive thoughts on something make the person feel like they're not being heard. And a hope seeker is really seeking someone to listen to them so that they can be heard. Lots of times the hope seeker already knows the answer to what they need to do next, but they just need to sound it off to somebody. They need to have someone listen to them and help them think through it. Am I doing the right thing? And saying, oh, everything's going to be fine, you'll be all right. Or, well, you should just pray harder. And those are very nice things to say, but they aren't always very helpful for a person who's in pain. And so I appreciate that you brought that up, Sam. That's really good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something that a well-intended person can do, and end up hurting the process instead of helping.
Right.
So for everybody who's watching and everybody who will watch this video later, this video will be hung up on YouTube channel for Fresh Hope as well, so that everybody can watch it whenever they run into the video. Rachel is posting some useful links. There we have Victoria Nicole asking, how do we get a hope coach? And Rachel is posting the link where you can go if you want to speak to a hope coach, and some other useful links. She might also, she says how she's also posting, how do I become a hope coach? Mm-hmm. And here's where we're going to say the surprise now, Peggy.
Okay.
For everybody who's listening into the show live right now, we are going to offer the Hope Coach training for free. If you want to become a Hope Coach, just send me an email. Rachel is writing my address in the comments on Facebook right now, my email address. So it's samantha@freshhope.us. If you shoot me an email and you say, I watched the Fresh Hope talk show in that email, and I want to become a Hope Coach, we are going to give you that Hope Coach training all for free, just because, we want to support what the Lord is putting in your heart to do.
That's fantastic. That's a great gift. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we need hope coaches. We need people who want to be trained, who want to be good listeners, who want to help someone else. We need hope coaches at Fresh Hope. So I'm excited about that. That's awesome.
Yes, Peggy. And, You know what? We should also probably say, how long does the training take? For somebody who's wondering, do I have the time to be trained to become a Hope Coach? Or
It's done through videos, and so you can do it at your self-pace. It's several hours long. I'm trying to remember, is it 8 hours?
yeah,
So I think, but you don't have to do it all at once. You can break it up. You can watch one video at a time. There are some quizzes that you take, and then there is what we call the practicum, where you actually meet with me and others on our team, and you practice being a Hope Coach. We give you a scenario and you pretend that you're the Hope Coach and you walk through the process. And so that kind of gives you a real flavor for what it might be like if the phone rings and you're on the hook as a Hope Coach.
that must be so exciting to go to your practice session and get, be able to put all that knowledge into the.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I also love about the Hope Coach training? It's that it's very clear. It's
Yes.
straightforward and it works.
And
Of course.
it works. It works.
Other question that people have asked me sometimes, Peggy, is, okay, so if I become a Hope Coach, do I have to become a Hope Coach for Fresh Hope? Or can I become a Hope Coach in my church? Or can I become a Hope Coach just for the people I know, to help my family and friends and be a better listener to them? And so what would you say to them, Peggy?
I would say all of the above. Obviously at Fresh Hope, we would like to have Hope Coaches on our team because we are opening up the Hope Coaching for more Hope seekers to call and to ask for a Hope Coach. But people are learning Hope Coaching in their churches and applying it to their church family. I interviewed a gentleman who's just using it with his friends. He just wanted to be a better listener, and he wanted to know how to ask good questions for some of his friends who were going through a rough time. And so he's using his Hope Coach training in his own personal life, which
Awesome.
I found I'm doing too. It just kind of naturally comes because now I've learned the skills to be a good listener and to ask good questions. It kind of flows naturally in my everyday life.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. So anybody listening can become a Hope Coach, and they can choose where to serve, right?
Yes.
Where
Yes.
to serve. Now, for those who choose to serve in Fresh Hope as Hope Coaches, we have another surprise, which is the Hope Coach Connector.
Right.
Right. The Hope Coach Connector is basically a platform where the Hope Coach has a user. We help them set up their own profile as a Hope Coach. And then the Hope Seekers also, to get a Hope Coach from Fresh Hope, they sign up to the Hope Coach Connector. And then this connector asks some very simple questions to know your background a little bit and to match you up with the best, or the best option of Hope Coach. Like,
right.
If you have a lived experience with mental health, the connector will automatically try to match you up with somebody who has lived experience with mental health. If you're perhaps a widow needing to talk to somebody, the connector will try to match you up with somebody who's been through that, and so that's just wonderful to see the connector working, Peggy. And Rachel is sharing the links on how to become a part of the connector, but you don't need to know everything at once. All we want you to know right now is two things. If you want to become a Hope Coach, just go to the store, freshhope.us. Go to the store. Oh, but if you're watching this show live, it's going to be for free.
That's right.
If you want to become a Hope Coach, shoot me an email, samantha@freshhope.us, and I will tell you how to get the Hope Coach training for free. That's
right.
one thing. And if you need a Hope Coach, if you're listening to the show and you're saying, oh, I would love to speak to a Hope Coach, then you can go to the link that Rachel is sharing below this on Facebook, below this video on Facebook, and request a hope coach, request to speak to a hope coach. It's free.
It's
You
free.
don't need to pay to talk to a hope coach.
Right. Right.
That's important to say as well.
Yes. Yes.
Let me see, are there any questions that people who are watching might have? This is the time where you can ask. We got Victoria asked a question, but Rachel already answered. Thank you, Rachel, for the wonderful job that you're doing right now with all the comments and all the notes you're putting below the video. We really appreciate you, Rachel. Okay, so that's very much it, right, Peggy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've really enjoyed being a hope coach. I really encourage you who are watching to consider doing this. It's very rewarding. For me personally, you know, having, well, all of us, we've all gone through difficult times, and being able to take those difficult times and give them back as a service to the Lord by walking with somebody else is just very, very rewarding. And I think God uses us that way. You know, he tells us in scripture that we've been comforted so that we can comfort others with the comfort we've received from God. And so we get to do that as a hope coach. And so if you're in a tough place and you're hurting as a hope seeker, I encourage you to reach out and find a hope coach. And if you're thinking, I'd really like to do this, I'd really like to be a hope coach, then do it. Email Sam and tell her, because we want to know that you watched it here on Fresh Hope, the Fresh Hope Talk Show, and then that you want to be a hope coach, and you won't regret it. It's very rewarding.
Thank you for that closing note. That was wonderful, Peggy. Thank you for sharing your own personal experience in life, and then in how God redeemed your pain. He redeems your pain as you serve as a hope coach.
That's right? Absolutely it. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I know that some people are will watch this on YouTube later. And so what do you think, Peggy? Should we also offer the Fresh Hope training for free to those who watch it later on YouTube?
Wow, that would be something.
That would be great. Let's just say we do. Okay?
All right.
And I'll talk to Pastor Brad about this later.
All right.
Unless he's already watching.
That's great.
Pastor Brad, if you're watching, let us know. Let us know what you think. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted there.
That's okay. That's okay. That's exciting. More opportunities for more hope coaches. That's exciting.
Yeah, we need hope coaches, because we are having people already in the Hope Coach Connector requesting to connect to a hope coach, and we need it. And we're having hope coaches in English and in Spanish, and in the future, in a couple of years, maybe we'll also do this in Japanese.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
It would be amazing, definitely. And I know the Lord is working in everything. So, Peggy, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your heart for this ministry. And bless you and bless Chris. Bless all your family, really. And we'll be in touch. And everybody, thank you for watching. Be sure to share this video with all the people that you know that might be interested in either talking to a hope coach or becoming a hope coach. And we'll see you in 2 weeks here at the Fresh Hope Talk Show in English again. Bye, everyone.